Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to the Tatsoft Canary Historian Workshop. I'm Dave Hellier with Tatsoft. Joining us today will be Philip Tomaszewski. You'll see how in shortly. We'll give people just another minute to go ahead and log in. Sometimes it takes people a little bit longer to log in. But while we're here, it's a great group of people. We're certainly glad everyone is here today. I see some people that are brand new to Tatsoft, and I see some people here that have been using us for a very long time. So shout out to EJ, Alexander, for sure. Rich, how you doing? Matt, Dan, everyone, very good. Glad to see you here. Philip, Mark, just they're coming in very quickly. So we'll go ahead and I think we can go ahead and get started now. So we're here today to introduce you to the Tatsoft Canary Historian. And those of you that have known us for quite a while, I know you've been waiting for this, and so we're glad to have this here today. For those of you that haven't seen us, just give me just a minute to introduce ourselves to you. Tell you a little bit about who we are and what our platform is so you have some context for what you're seeing today. We're Tatsoft. Our product that we developed is called FrameworX, and it's an application development framework for you, platform for you. So you'll see here today, we talk about being complete, we talk about being powerful, talk about being cost effective, and you'll see some of the reasons why we do those things, and we say those things here today. So let's go ahead and get started. We're in just about every business, every industry that you can think of where there's automation, for sure. And we've achieved a lot of success over the years in growing and many different types of applications, many different companies within these industries. Here's just a sample of some of them that are using us, and not in a trivial way. It's not that they have a node somewhere of our software. They're using us on systems. Things that they're relying on to get their data presented to them reliably in meaningful ways. And so we're very proud of this list. We've got a ton more and adding to it daily. And hopefully this, with the Tatsoft Canary Historian, we think that that's going to be opening up other opportunities for us as well. Hopefully we'll be working with you folks to do so. Our platform is FrameworX. And the products that it enables are what you see on the right here. These are all the same source code, okay? At the bottom, you see we've got our Edge Gateway product. Our Edge Gateway is our data migration tool. It's used to connect to data and move it. So all the device drivers, all the database connectivity, store and forward, scripting, all part of it. So that's Edge Gateway. Above that, adding on top of that, is our Edge HMI. Same thing the gateway does, only it does provide visualization. It does provide alarming, report generation, some of those things at an HMI level. Think of it as an operator workstation license. The enterprise class of the FrameworX tools we call Factory Studio, and it scales up to 15,000 IO points. But it's the full set of development tools that we create are enabled within Factory Studio. And when you go for the unlimited version of that, we call that FrameworX Unlimited. And it's unlimited in terms of the amount of data you're looking at. So the amount of IO, we just don't care, bring it. The number of real-time users, the clients to the application, running the project, unlimited through any one of our number of clients. Client technologies, and also unlimited in terms of the number of engineers working simultaneously on the same or many projects through a framework server. So unlimited, unlimited, unlimited. That's what FrameworX Unlimited is all about. Moving on, all those tools, again, help you to do things to go to your data sources, whether they're being sensors or devices out on the edge, PLCs, robots, scales, things like that. We have the technology to connect to those data. Once you have that data, what do you do with it? Aggregate it, transform it, historize it, like we're going to be showing here today. Then you can report on it, create dashboards, responsive dashboards, create our analytics, connect to other sources of information or other sources, other technologies that need access to the information as well. So whether it be on-prem or it even be cloud-based, FrameworX provides all those tools natively in a fully integrated development environment. And Philip will be showing you some of that here today. So, as it relates to Tatsoft and Canary, what's included with it? Well, the product itself, it's not just embedded, it's integrated throughout the entire system. So we didn't just include it in what we do, it is part of everything we do. Everything inside of frameworks has access to that. uh, why? Because we've got the .NET API integration, so it made those things very tight, very secure, very fast. You'll see using all of our device drivers, you can connect to the different devices and log that data, even through MQT, right into the Canary Historian. I was talking about fast. We can write data 1.5 million updates per second through the historian. It's got a read speed of 2.5 million updates per second. That's phenomenal. Where else do you see that in the market, right? You get it here with Tatsoft, and you get it with our Canary historian as well. By the way, all those products that I showed you, Edge Gateway, Edge HMI, Factory Studio frameworks, all of them, from the largest to the very smallest, include a 500 tag Canary historian embedded in it for nothing, for free. It's included. Have at it. Use it. Certainly, we can scale up from there. The licensing, whether that Canary is installed on the same computer or on a different computer, all that licensing again is done at the .NET API level. So it's a very solid, very secure, very reliable, very fast machine. But they don't have to be separately. They can be on the same computer. Either way, it's about providing the flexibility to do what you need to do. Okay. Speaking of, we had some people asking, is that going to replace what you were doing before in terms of historizing data? And the answer is no. It works in conjunction with it, right? So you can still log to SQL, can still log to Oracle, all the databases we supported before, but now we've got this very high speed, highly efficient, lightweight historian as part of the platform as well. So you can use both, and encourage you to try it and use it as best you need. So again, taking all the data, logging everything through through to the Tatsoft Canary historian. Depending on the technology you're using, if your payload changes that we're logging, it'll automatically change within the historian. Philip will be showing you some of that as well when we get to his presentation. So installation is very simple when you're installing frameworks. If you go with a custom setup, you can see all the things there that install when you install frameworks, and the Canary Historian is one of them. And if you're installing the demo and you're online, it'll generate a license for you for both, to use with the Canary Historian. A very simple process to implement. And so, we can keep talking about, but why? Why don't we show it to you? So without any further waiting, here's Philip to walk you through the Tatsoft Canary Historian. Philip?
Hello everyone, this is Philip from Tatsoft, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the Tatsoft Canary Historian, our embedded Canary Historian product offering and its functionality. So this presentation is going to be like a training and I would say an overview. And then I will try to explain you guys what is the technology and how we use that. Okay, so how that can be used in our workday. Basically, when we talk about the Tatsoft Canary Historian, we are talking about connecting, collecting, analyzing, and visualizing all your real-time data. You can connect to any of our more than 60 different protocol, our devices, and you can historize using the Tatsoft Canary Historian all the log of this data. Okay, you can model your historian data with our asset tools, visualize using our advanced trend objects and templates, and you can even create custom applications using FrameworX scripting. Okay, basically looking into the architecture that we are going to talk about in this training, we have device drivers and time series historian. Device drivers, we are going to create like a simulation data, like to simulate, like if we were having an external real world PLC, like a Modbus or ControlLogix or something collecting the data, and we will historize using the Tatsoft Canary historian into a time series historian. Then we're going to show a little bit about our templates and how you can achieve the unified namespace using them. And then after that, we are going to talk about the visualization, the user interface, HMI, SCADA, dashboards, trends, advanced user interface apps that can be used for. And after all, we need to remember that once you have this data, you can go into our scripting engine and you can manipulate this data to do whatever you want to. Okay, so a lot has been talking in the past few months about a dynamic tag provider, but what exactly is this? It's a tool that allows you to access your communication device data model from anywhere inside our engineering environment without you need to create any local tags. Okay, but when should I use that? Exactly in what kind of situation should I use that? Think about that. If you have an asset model that is predefined and nothing's gonna change that, we're not going to add anything, remove anything, or update anything. So that's a situation where you don't really need a dynamic tag provider. Like this example here, I have a city where I have solar panels and everything is already predefined. But if for some reason you have something that is increasing the size, the scalability is getting better, you are scaling your system, and you have things coming in, coming out, things getting updated. So in that situation, you would like to use our dynamic tag provider. We are not talk a lot and we are not going deep into dynamic tag provider here because the focus on this training is our Tatsoft Canary historian, but it's very important to remember they can work together very well. When we talk about the Tatsoft Canary historian, we need to think first of all in how to license the Tatsoft Canary historian. So let's take a look in that. Once you install Factory Studio, and you open it, the first display you're going to see is this display. So let's click here on the license, okay? And it will open up the display with the license information. And let's click in here on Canary Trial License. It will open up information for you to fill. So customer name is the company name. So let's say Tatsoft in here. Under contact, I'm gonna use my name, Philip here, email, so my email at tatsoft.com, and the notes here, so this is a training example. Okay, so once we do that, we click in OK button, it will automatically generate for me the serial number and will copy that to my clipboard. Okay, perfect. It's gonna open my licensing tool here. I can click on licenses and then I go here on company and say, I will fill this information. The serial number is already on my clipboard, my email. Okay. And then I check Canary historian here and click and get license on the bottom. Once I do that, it says license talent verification code. Okay, perfect. So if I go back here, I'm gonna say I have Canary historian and I have everything that I need in here. Perfect, very well. So what is the next step? The next step is to create a project using Factory Studio to store the data that we are going to collect. So basically, let's go in here. Let's click in projects and let's create a new project. Once you click on the button, new project, it will open the display to create new projects with some information that we have to fill to achieve that project and to start it. So basically the first thing, FX and Canary Historian. Let's keep it express. For this example, we are going to use Canary Historian 500. And let's use a template here. For this example, I'm gonna use the trend chart template. That is a technology that we use in Factory Studio to just pre-create displays and pre-create features inside Factory Studio projects. Let's click on create a new project, and as soon as this project is created, it will automatically open the engineering so I can start working and I can start making changes on my project. So let's wait that to open. It's gonna take a while. It depends, of course, on your computer. This is a virtual machine, so let's take a look. Loading, and there we go. We have everything we need, so let's start working on our demo. Okay, cool. So once we have our project created here, the first thing we're going to do is creating a template. But Philip, what is a template? A template is your own predefined type. So you have predefined like doubles, integers, text, booleans, but sometimes you want to create your own predefined type. So templates are used to do this. They may be defined with properties similar to those of the predefined ones, and each template represents a user-defined type. Okay? Using templates, you can add to the type of the tags available for your project by creating new types to fit your application needs. So it's very cool. This could be, for example, machine data, equipment status, vessels, or as the representation of any asset attributes in the plant. For this example, we are going to create a valve template. Okay, so let's create here. Let's click on new, and let's do valve here. Okay, click on OK button. And once you make sure that you have the user custom type here selected for the one you just created, and let's do this. Let's put the values that we want here. We want temperature, and it's gonna be a double, and we want pressure, that is gonna be a double too. Push enter. After you finish that, make sure you have both of them created here, and then we can start talking about the tags. Okay, one thing that I will ask you guys to do with me here, just let's create a device. I want a device to simulate data for this data that we are going to create. So let's do this first, because you guys will understand why I'm doing this first. So let's create using our T simulator that will simulate SCADA random values here. So click and create new, then OK, then go to your nodes here, click on new, and make sure that you have this one. It's the only one, but click OK. You don't need to configure anything here. It's all good to go. Now we can go back to our tags. So we are going to create tags in here that will get the data from our device that we just created, and then we will provide the capability to store this data into our Canary Historian. There are two ways that you can create a tag. You can go to objects and create them here on the table directly, or you can use the new asset tools here. It's so cool, and it has so many features and capabilities to work with this asset that I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna show you guys some interesting things. So first thing, I will right click this guy and I'll create a new level, and I'm gonna call it valves. Okay, inside valves, again, I will right click valves and I'll say new tag. And here we have the create new tag display where you can configure any information about this new tag. So I'm gonna call it valve1, and I will put it under valve, the type here. Okay, basically that's what I want to do here for now, but I want to go into devices and enable the device for this guy. I will select here the node that I just created, and that's why we did create the channels and nodes before we go into the tags. That's a situation that you already know what is the type of uh, driver that you want to use, and it makes your life easier when you are creating a tag. So access type here, you can do read or read write, doesn't really matter. Let's keep read write for this demo. And here under address, you select the type, so it's gonna be float, and the minimum and maximum separated by a semicolon. Okay, so I'm gonna put 0 to 100. Click outside that, make sure it's everything in here, and click on OK. Cool, so we have valve 1 here, and if you go to properties, you can see the configuration that we did, it's all in there. Okay, what is cool about this guy now is if I copy and I paste it here on this level, basically it will replicate the tags and all the tags and all the properties that it comes together. So it's really cool. I really like it. So let's just rename these guys here. You can like click and then click once again, but not double click, or you can right click and do rename. Okay, so let's call it valve 1, 2, and 3. Basically, we did create 3 valves in here, and we already have simulation, the data simulation into there. Okay, so if we go to run startup and we click here to run startup our project, it will start running and we can see the values changing. What is cool is the way Factory Studio works with this protocol is that you don't need to specify values for each level inside the tag. So if you open in here, you see that valve 1, 2, and 3, all of them have like pressure and temperature, but you are basically simulating for all of them. So let's go here, let's go to tools, property watch. Let's open our property watch in here, and we'll be able to see the values here. So you see valves in here, and then you have valve 1, you have valve 2, and you have valve 3. Okay, so you can see the values changing here. Okay, cool. So let's shut down our project for now. And let's go to the next step. Okay, so now we are going to talk to the next step, that is Canary Historian. How we historize this data that we did collect from our simulators, and we put that inside Canary using Factory Studio Historian capability. The first thing we have to think is, why Canary? What is Canary? Canary, as their website mentions, is a performance time series database that ensures you never lose your data. High scalability for both site and enterprise historian needs. So it's a non-relational database, it's a time series database that has a really high capability to historize the data and can scale. I think scale is our word here. So it scales very easily than SQL, for example. So why to use Canary as your historian? Basically, 3 words: scalability, usability, and trade-offs. Scalability is, in this case, the time series database specializing a higher number of writes. So you can scale a time series database much easier than you can scale a relational database. So that's the first reason you would like to use Canary. Usability is the second word. So think about a huge amount of data being sent to the historian. There are maybe millions of data points to search, but using non-relational like Canary, we cannot view data as it relates to other pieces of the schema, but to view data in the context of time in order to aggregate, like set windows or trends or whatever. This isn't about whether other databases are capable of doing such a thing. It's about how we choose to spend our resources. And trade-offs. Basically, database architecture is it's about trade-offs and priorities. Okay, so do you need speed or accuracy or volume or predefined schemas? So the proof is in the benchmarks. Measure everything. Don't choose a tool or a product-based solution to your problem. Especially tools are made for special problems. So Canary is a time series database optimized for time series problems. So that's why we want to use Canary. Okay, so how to configure the Canary Historian? It's very simple. What we have to do is we go to this Historian tab that we have in here under Edit Tags Historian, okay? And we will have this, as you can see, SQLite database and tag providers. When it says tag providers, let's go here in the providers, and you see that by default, you have a historian. As you can see, is historian Canary created here. Go to the primary station here and make sure that your configuration match with your computer. Okay, so it matches with your computer. If you click test connection, you want to see a success here. Okay, once you have it, basically your configuration is done. You don't need to worry about that. Let's go to historian and let's add our tags to this historian. Basically, you type the name of the tag in here, valve1, okay? And you need to select the historian table. Let's create a new one. So I want to use tag provider Canary. I will say valve table. Okay, save and change. I will keep everything as a default, clicking OK. And then I will make sure that my valve1 here is using the table that we just created. Make sure you guys always push enter, okay, after you insert anything to our tables, okay? So do valve3 here, same thing. We have here the 3 valves, and we have all of them being sent to Canary. And as you can see, I can send the root level. I don't need to send one by one, like valve 1 pressure, valve 1 temperature, valve 2 pressure, valve 2 temperature. I can just send the root level and everything will be historized here. Okay, very well done. So we can proceed with our next steps because our historian configuration is already done and working. Okay, so now we can go for our last part of the training. That is where we are going to get the data, the tags that we are collecting data from the field or from any driver. In this case, we are using the simulator, and put this data into a dashboard display that we are going to create. So first of all, let's click in draw here and let's insert a symbol. Click on insert symbol. Navigate to valves here. It's under standard valves, and let's get this valve here. Okay, so double click, put it that on the display. Let's make a little bit of change this. So right click and do edit symbol valve, and then double click this part here on the middle. Remove action, then go to fill color and do like pound. Let's give a name for our reference. So it's our mnemonic. So it's gonna be tag valve column, open parentheses, and then we type the name of the tag that will be our reference. So it's gonna be tag dot valves valve1. Close the parentheses and do a dot, and then you have pressure here. So we are going to do lesser than 50. So every time pressure is lesser than 50, the color, the value will be 1, so it's true. The color will be green. Okay, so let's close. It's enough. We can right click and save to symbol library. Well done. So basically we have our symbol created here. So let's create our dashboard page. Click here on the top on the create new page and give a name. Let's give it new dashboard. Make sure you have .NET Smart Client and you check the dashboard option. Then click OK. Cool. We have our dashboard here. It's a little big. Let's work with that. So the first thing I want to insert in my dashboard is a trend. So I want this trend in here, and I want 3 symbols only. That will be the valves. But before we insert the valve, let's put a group in here. I like that, to put a group in here. Okay, oops, twice, we don't need that. I want to move the group here all the way to the top. Okay, and inside the group I want to put my valve. So I want this, I will copy, Ctrl C, Ctrl V 3 times. I don't want this header to show up, so I click in that group and I remove the title here, and basically I have my 3 valves. I'm gonna change the name, click on the valve, come here on the left side and change valve 1, valve 2, and valve 3. Okay, so my valves are good to go. I only need to make sure that I'm using the right tag. So for this one, valve 1, for this one here, valve 2, and for the last one, valve 3. Okay, good. So here I'm controlling pressure here on the top, so let's put temperature here on our trend chart. I don't want the title here too, so better thinking. Let's keep the chart, the title, and let's put temperature, so it will show us that this is the temperature that we are working on. So here on the window we can set theme color, so it's very cool because it will interact with the capability of themes in Factory Studio and all the FrameworX softwares. Let's click in here on the pens and let's set tag is valves, valve 1, and I want temperature. Okay, so basically push the OK button. Let's go here on the pen settings and let's check this fill area. I like the effect it gives to the pen. So let's do the same thing for the other 2 valves. Okay, so let's add the temperature here. Again, let's check the fill area. Let's add the last one. Valve 3, temperature, okay. And same thing, check the fill area. Okay, very well done. We have our 3 tags in here. We can close this guy. Basically, don't forget to save your displays and let's run. Let's see what happens here now. Make sure you have the modules that you need. I will keep them all here and I will run startup. So the project will load and we will have it running as soon as the modules starts. So let's see our results. Okay, we forgot this one here. So let's click on these 3 dots here and let's open our new dashboard page. So basically we have the data being collected here, okay? And we have valve 1, valve 2, and valve 3 changing values based on the simulator, okay? The interaction with the themes that I told you guys is the capability to change themes here on the top, okay? So the system adjusts automatically based on what you're doing. And if we open Canary Historian right now, if we go to home here and we go to Historian, you will see that we have the Historian that we did create with the name of our project. I can open that, I can see the dates, and I can see all my time series data being logged on. Okay, nice guys. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you can learn with this video. And we are here, we are Tatsoft, we are here to help you guys on anything you need, okay? Have a good one. Bye-bye. Okay guys, so I left the application running for a while to collect data over this time. And now I'm going to show you guys how we can get this data, restore this data from our historian, our FrameworX Canary historian, and we can analyze this data and some features that we can apply using our trend tools. Basically what I did here, I did click on this button to navigate to this display. That is a default display that is created when you use the trend template. So let's add some tags in here. So I want the valve pressure, valve 1 pressure, valve 2 pressure, and valve 3 pressure. So one of the first things we can do here basically is we can change the time control. So I will increase the duration to be something like 10 minutes. Okay, so you can see the entire data. I will remove the grid lines because I think the visualization is better without that. And I will use this button here to stack pens. So now that my visualization is very good, I can see here, for example, that we have a high number into this guy. So let's make an tag note this guy. This is the valve 1. Good. So let's make a note, high pressure. And let's make a comment. This is a high pressure annotation. Very good. We can click in OK. And here we have high pressure. Okay, perfect. So we can see that from here to here we had something happening and probably the project was stopped. So let's make a note. Let's click in here and right click in this guy and say add event range. Okay, basically what we have to do is system shutdown. So that's my comment. The system was turned off. So now I know that whatever happened in that moment, the values are like that because the system has been shut down. Okay, so basically I can do anything. I can navigate into the past, or I can go back to the future. I can, for example, here, I can specify what is the timing duration that I want, or if I'm in the past, I can click in this button here, real time, to go back to real time and see the data. I can change the Y scale, I can do automatically, I can do combined, I can do default. Okay, automatically for me is a better visualization for this specific one. I can zoom in into a specific moment of the timing. Okay, so there are a lot of data analysis that we can do using our trend. And after all, it's important to remember FrameworX is storing all this data into the Canary Historian using our new integration between FrameworX and Canary. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed and have a great week and a great weekend too. See you.